Hi, welcome back to the Seven Frequenceas.
And just Fredi.
So yeah, today I'm just by myself. We're doing it today a little bit makeshift because we weren't allowed in the podcast studio.
A little bit impromptu.
A little bit impromptu. So we're using my phone in a little room with a window that opens by itself sometimes, which is really loud. So sorry about that. Yeah, was there another disclaimer or was that it? That's about it.
This is our last episode
for a while.
For a while,
Yeah.
so listen to this one.
Yeah, so lap it up. In the room we have me, Fredi.
And me, Kit.
And Amelie. Hyein.
Serena.
Charis.
Sanaa.
Yeah.
And this is episode 7.
Of
This
what?
is-
Seven
you off.
Frequenceas.
Yeah, Amelie!
Yes.
Speaker 2.
Go for it, guys.
So, we, for this module, will have to think about a prompt in collaboration with the external organisation and partnering with the New Black Film Collective. We had a meeting with Priscilla where she posed the question, what pisses you off? Because she thought she always, like, we were asking her about her curation process when making these kind of film festivals, and she said a good way to start is just thinking about what pisses you off. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, and hopefully it will mainly relate to the kind of topics that we've talked about in previous weeks anyway. Maybe it might be random, but yeah.
Oh, I feel like we all have a lot of things that piss us off. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of scared we'll get too angry.
Then, no, just begin.
I think Amelie had one about the Wuthering Heights casting.
Oh, but that's long-winded, is it not? I think
I've
gone
got-
on
It's
about
alright, we've got an hour
That's
left.
the point of the
I know, but
True.
I've gone on about it so many times.
In the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Really?
you can make
Yeah,
it more
just looking at
general,
it,
just like
that's true.
just like representation.
Yeah, I think representation in cinema in general, I feel like it's lacking. And I think if you're gonna adapt a book where race is so crucial to the plot, and then you cast a white actor, it kind of just destroys that whole arc of the story. And I think, we all love Jacob Elordi, but not that much,
I'm not a big fan, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah, because I think in the book, in the story, Heathcliff's like the reason why he's such a jerk in the later parts of the book, and he's such a horrible human being, is because he's been racially discriminated against as a child. And I mean, I guess it's just like depends on like what this director wanted to go for, because for the most part, Catherine and Heathcliff in the book are awful people. They're not very nice people. They're kind of the antagonists of the book, even if they are the protagonists. In the film, they're made to be like, deeply in love, and it's supposed to be a very more tragic story. And to do that, they got very A-lister, actors we see all the time.
I heard they didn't even they don't even do the end of the book. Like, they just end it. Yeah.
They end it when she
They don't-
dies.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
So, yeah, she died.
Spoilers.
Well,
Oh yeah, because like the whole point of the book is that like Kathy names her daughter Kathy, and then it like sort of starts and ends with Kathy. Something
yeah.
like that. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It just the casting pissed me off because because all of the past adaptations, I genuinely thought that Heathcliff was a white character, and it was just sort of this like classist attitude projected towards him. But then I read the book and I was like, wait, oh no, he's not. It doesn't. His race and ethnicity isn't clarified, but it.
There goes the window.
The
It's
window
like-
agrees.
It suggested that he's definitely not white. And then someone said to me, they were like, oh, well, it's fine, Jake Elordi, he kind of looks like he could be. And I was like, that's not the point.
Yeah, it's literally that is.
That's so the antithesis of the point.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Oh my god, it's so long. Why does it take so long?
No, like, I feel like it's worse to cast a white actor who looks like he could be ambiguous than to just cast a white actor as a white actor.
And own it. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
have you watched...
Also, he does not look ambiguous. I don't
Yeah,
see that.
I don't see
Yeah.
that.
It's like, have you watched On My Block?
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the actresses in the first season, they cast her as one of like the main characters, and she wasn't like Spanish or Latino
Oh,
at
really?
all. And every single time she had to speak Spanish, like all the other like actors were like cringing because it was just like so inaccurate and bad. So she got fired because she lied about like her ethnicity on her resume.
No way.
Yeah,
And I just think, like, particularly with, just going back to Wuthering Heights, particularly with that film, I feel like there's so many books written in that time period that were all about white people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if it was one of those, I wouldn't be quite so upset, but because it's specifically part of the plot,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
it just seems so careless and, like, under-researched.
Well, she made it like a BDSM story. Like, my mum went to see it and she said it was, like, basically, like, BDSM. They never, like, had the sex, but they were, like, really intimate and they, like, had an affair. And I was like, well, that didn't happen in the book. They didn't even, like, kiss or anything. But
There's no BDSM in Wuthering Heights.
None of that.
I love that your mum knows what that is as well. Oh my god.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised.
Yeah.
I was like, ah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
what?
that's just like one of the little things that piss me off. Like, anyone next?
Yeah. What pisses you guys off?
I mean, I would say representation is a pretty big thing. Like, so that's a pretty big thing. It's not a little thing. But it pisses me off too.
This is a really...
Do people have, like, any stories of, like, being represented that made them feel really affirmed and stuff?
I've never seen a Malaysian actor in like another
Oh, I
film
mentioned this
ever.
last week.
Mm.
In Bridgerton season 4, they cast a girl from Hong Kong, and
Oh,
she's
yeah.
so cute in the show, guys.
Oh, Poppy.
Posey.
Posey. It was like a flowery...
Yeah. No, but I found out she was from Hong Kong on Instagram, and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. And then they spoke like 2 lines of Cantonese in the show, but I was kind of like, okay, like it wasn't that necessary. It was just kind of like, okay. Yeah, I don't even think they spoke very well, but it's okay. No, I liked everything everywhere all at once when they spoke Cantonese.
I wanted to talk about...
I think the window wants to talk about it as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the Oscar ceremony because I watched it with Sanaa the other night. We actually like stayed up till the end watching it. It was a minor thing, but not really, because there were people who had won awards and they were doing their speeches, and there were instances where the orchestra just literally started playing over them as they spoke. And it was like not once, and I get that, you know, there's a specific timing for these things, and I do get it, but I did feel like for a lot of these people, these are first time achievements, and it's a really huge moment in their career, and that was just a bit, it wasn't like pissing me off, but it was just not nice to see. I mean, you know, like the mic stand went down as like this...
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, this, I think it was a short film, in fact. It's like one of the more like underrepresented categories as well. And one of the crew members, one of the directors, I think it might have been a short documentary or something like that. They were speaking and the mic stand went down, and then obviously there was like the K-pop dude went on to speech when the director was speaking, and the orchestra just started playing, and then they didn't stop, and it was just a bit like, oh.
It's also someone said they gave like Adrian Brody last year like 6
Yeah.
minutes
And he had a
for
long
his
speech,
Yeah.
he had a famously long
They
speech.
did.
Yeah.
And then he presented for Best Actor as well, which I found.
Yeah, because there was always that thing with like Olivia Colman's speech where she basically was like, "Oh, I've only got a few minutes left," and then she like blows a raspberry at them. Anyway, it's a distinct memory.
I love
But I don't think they just start playing music over any of like the
Yeah.
I
those
think I was
actors.
just a bit like shocked. I thought
Yeah.
like they would, because it's just like a highly televised live event, I thought they would just give them a bit more time.
Yeah,
Didn't they
exactly.
censor Free Palestine as well or something?
That was for
They didn't censor it.
BAFTA.
Oh,
Yeah,
they did that at the BAFTAs, but
I
then
really can't keep up
They
with
did
these
censor
things.
like the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh right, yeah, that's a
Yeah.
whole other thing.
That is
Yeah.
a whole thing.
Yeah, that was like one thing that was sort of on my mind.
Yeah.
That's like a recent one.
Silencing.
Yeah, there's been a lot of silencing recently.
Mhm.
Like Glastonbury, loads of acts were not like they were like removed from the BBC's iPlayer recordings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't remember. Oh, there was one example and it's gone from my brain. Oh, what's his name? Anyway, Kneecap also obviously were censored and have been taken to court, and then won their case. But yeah, no. Let me just look it up. Someone talk about something else, and then I'll get back to you on who it was.
Hate slow walkers in London.
Oh, so do I.
Yeah, that was what I was saying.
Like, walk with a sense of urgency, please.
Yeah, especially in like crowded places. Like again, like maybe it's like an empty road. Okay, do what you want. But it's like a really crowded place. It's peak hours, and you're taking your time. You don't have time to be taking. Like I don't.
It's.
I don't like that though.
No, I feel like if you're gonna walk slow, make sure like you have space for people to walk past
Yeah.
you, or like you move out the way.
I agree with that.
It's when like one person in the middle takes
Oh
up one
my
entire
god.
yeah.
That pisses me off so much. I'm so overstimulated by it. Sorry, Amelie, go on.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, if you're one person and you're taking up the entire pavement,
Yeah,
What do you
or if
think?
it's like you're walking with your friends, but you're like three
In
people,
one
and then
line.
you're in a line, and there's no space in between you guys to like speed past. And yeah,
True.
Okay, you were saying?
It was Bob Villain. Anyway, that was the act that was censored. Yeah, at Glastonbury. Anyway.
Huh.
Oh, I have something that pissed me off. That's a big piss me off. Have people been back to UCL since the opening of the 200th?
what do you mean?
Like the main campus?
Is there,
I
like,
think so.
Have you
more
seen it?
construction?
No, have you seen the main
yeah,
quad?
It's just
very
empty,
more,
isn't it?
I've
It's
just
got,
seen
like,
the UCL
Cameras
Timber
everywhere.
There
Oh.
are
There's
Really?
cameras everywhere, and they remove the grass. They
Yeah,
put
I've
like
not
do
seen
not
the
sit.
cameras.
It's very
Oh.
modern. It's very modern.
It's basically like anti-protest architecture,
Oh.
and it's very
Oh.
interesting.
That is very
Um,
interesting.
and that
with
pisses
the
me
recent
off. Yeah. With the
protests.
recent protest.
Yeah, interesting.
I've not seen the cameras.
They're like
Yeah.
on black sticks, I think.
I don't think I've been.
I'm pretty sure there's a
Guys,
camera.
speaking of
Yeah.
cameras and surveillance, have you seen what Elon Musk's up to?
No.
They're like 4 satellites in a row that are going to look like a spaceship or something that he wants to put in the sky so that we're just constantly surveyed. I'm like, I actually think, weirdly, I think people don't pay enough attention to what he's doing because I'm like, that is the most powerful rich man on the world.
Yeah,
And he says the
He
most
can do it.
crazy
Yeah.
things. And the fact that he then just goes on Twitter, or X as he calls it, and it's like, wah, 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 wah. I'm like, oh my god, that pisses me
Wait,
off.
that is. Oh.
Yeah.
He pisses me off.
Mm.
He's like,
When-
yeah.
Whenever people say Elon Musk, I really just picture this man with a really long fucking beard. And like,
Really?
Musky man.
Why?
Oh,
I
like
don't know, it's just like,
musky.
because like, I just feel like he's ancient. I know
He
he's
should
not.
be.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's random.
No, as Amelie was talking about walking, I was just thinking, why do men never move out of the way when
I've
we're
seen
walking
that.
the opposite
Yeah, it's
way
so
from each
true.
other?
I did a social experiment at this at school, and I walked straight
So
through the middle of the hallway, and I got knocked down by every man.
No, because like
I passed.
recently I've just not been like moving away from
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And tell me why we like either brush or we like fully slam into each other.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's a whole ass road next to you
Yeah.
versus me like near the side of the road. Why are you not moving? Like
Literally.
it's not even like I'm doing that much effort. I'm just walking how I usually am, and then there's like a road next to us that you could like swerve, and he's just like.
I feel like, you know, like man-spreading and mansplaining,
Oh,
there needs to be a
yeah.
word for that, but beginning with man,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
man bumping or something.
Man striding.
Man striding. Man striding is good. Man strutting. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I've-
sometimes they look too scary, so I'm like, okay, then
Yeah.
I am gonna actually
Yeah.
swerve you.
This happened in Westfield. I was in Westfield with Sean, and I was walking to the train station, and this man was like literally like striding, and I thought he was gonna move. I couldn't go anywhere because it was so busy, and he like body slammed me and went move.
Oh my
Oh my
god.
Yeah, I remember that.
Excuse me,
Hello?
Dumbo. Like,
Excuse me, donut.
donut. I'm sorry, pork chop.
Oh my gosh, wait! Can I tell you what I witnessed a couple of weeks ago? I told them, I think. But I was like crossing the road at UCL from like IOE to Student Center, and you know how there are like a lot of bike lanes down that road? And there were a bunch of bikers, and there's one guy crossing the road. And he was walking, first of all, really slowly. And then these bikers that were about to go past, this one guy in the front kept going, watch out, watch out, watch out! And this guy did not watch out. Didn't even try to stop walking, because like there's like a place that you can stop before the bike lane, or you can like either you can stop there, or you can walk a bit faster to get across the road before the bikes hit you. This guy just kept walking at a slow pace until all 3 of the bikes that were about to go had to like halt and almost crash into each other and almost crash into the guy as well. And when they all halted, the guy also stopped in the middle of the bike lane, didn't even look to the side. And the guy was like, well, you gonna say something? Or he said like, fucking hell, or something like that, I didn't hear. But then this guy just stood, didn't look or say anything, and then continued walking so slowly until he crossed the bike lane. And then finally it was empty so the bikes could go, and he drove, and he was like, fucking apologize, and the guy on the bike was like, fucking apologize, won't you? This guy like just kept walking. He didn't even look back, he didn't say anything. And I was just like, I was like, how, like, what has to cross your mind to like have bikes almost like, okay, maybe he didn't hear the watching out and he didn't realize, but then like as soon as you see all 3 bikes halt, you should like say something, or you should be like, oh my god, like sorry, and then like walk fast out the way. But he was slow to get there, didn't move out the way or stop, slow to continue walking out the way, and continue just walking leisurely at a very leisurely pace, didn't even look back. Like, if he injured anyone, he would not have cared. And just like, I was like, bro, and like, it's your fault. Like, oh my god. Yeah, that really pissed me off.
Was it a UCL student?
I don't know, probably because they're walking in that area, so they probably were a UCL student, but it was a man as well, it was a guy.
No, it always is a man.
So I was just, that really pissed me off, because I was like, what are you doing? Like, can you not just be like, oh my god, like can you not just say sorry if you've caused this big issue?
Yeah.
Like, first of all, he shouldn't have even, like, been walking so slowly when there were bikes coming. And second of all, if he didn't notice, he should have apologized when he did notice. And he should have noticed, because he was literally like this, and there were 3 bikes right next to him about to crash into him. So, yeah.
Damn.
Men love to like take up space.
They
and,
really
like,
do.
both physically and like in conversation. Like I just feel like sometimes
Yeah, Freddie.
when I'm having it. Anyone else want to make a point?
Okay.
I feel like I do feel like sometimes when I'm having a conversation where there's like one straight man there, like he will make about 80% of the conversation, like whether you try and resist it or not. Like I don't know. Me and my friends are talking about this yesterday, and they love to like make points that just have no basis whatsoever. Like they like all of their like hot takes are just their opinions. Like they have nothing that's like
Interesting.
backed up or researched. And oh my god, sorry. They also love to do the whole like thing where like a woman has made that point like 5 minutes ago, and then they like make that point as if it's a new point.
Oh my God. And those same men at events, when they like ask questions that don't need to be asked, and they just want to say a question.
Yeah, just to show her.
just
Me and
to-
Ali's
yeah.
class today. Genuinely. Yeah, no, you're
No, but there's also like,
What is it, the beads?
yeah.
The string of beads?
Kind of
Yeah.
love that.
I was saying there's also like, I've had this experience and I hate it when like you say a point and a man will like not acknowledge it, and then another man says the same point, and suddenly it's like, that's the best idea I've ever heard.
Literally.
And it's like, okay then. But
You know what I hate? When a man says a point.
Whoa, funny!
Really, that's actually
Isn't that
genius.
genius? Didn't I eat with that? No, yeah, that's so true. Okay, anyway, what pisses other people off?
Yeah.
Come on, Hyein.
Come on, guys.
I've said
You've
mine.
said yours.
Come on,
It's us
Serena.
3 now.
Serena.
Oh, and you. Oh no, you
I'm
said
walking in the
yours.
road. I just don't know if I feel like it's hard for me to talk about stuff that pisses me off sometimes, because then I'll really
Again,
Get
think.
into
That's
it.
okay.
Because like people don't like. I feel like thinking about things that just rile them up for no reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like, do I really want to put myself in a bad mood?
but also like,
Yes.
it's not for no reason.
Well,
Yeah,
I can
it's for the
list a
sake-
lot of reasons.
It's kind of
For the sake of the
cathartic, though,
podcast.
to like.
oh, that's true.
let it out.
I do think sometimes though it is like that you get so frustrated and there's just nothing you can do
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
it's like,
So-
do you really want to keep on picking
Yeah.
up the scab? Like,
my thing that I said in the meeting with Priscilla was about like the UK government's response to refugees and asylum seekers, which is obviously such a huge issue in and of itself, but I think particularly this kind of demonization and like sly language that like implicitly vilifies them in this really disgusting, repulsive way. And I've seen like people say that like some of Keir Starmer's speeches uses similar language to like the Rivers of Blood speech, and like it's just horrible. And like particularly I think the reason it enrages me so much is because of this thing I did, which I love to talk about, but this thing I did over summer where I was like working in these asylum centres with these like children, and I was like, these children are like have come from this other country, don't know anything, aren't allowed out of this hotel until they get a school that they can go to, don't have their parents, have literally nothing to do, they're so bored, they're so confused, they're so traumatized, and like I would go in and like colour in with them and like do these different activities with them, and just watching them draw, like they would draw exactly the same as I would draw when I was a child, and I was like, the fact that these children are being vilified. When you vilify asylum seekers, you're vilifying all asylum seekers. Not that any of them should be vilified in the first place, like particularly I just think people like that clearly have never once tried to talk to an asylum seeker or a refugee, or even probably someone that isn't white, or like anyone outside of their echo chamber. And I just think it shows such a lack of like wanting to challenge your own beliefs. Like I think I'm right about everything, and still I want to like challenge my own beliefs and like talk to people that disagree. I love to talk to people that have like really opposing beliefs, and I just think I really, really strongly dislike that. And I think it's a wider issue as well of just like scapegoating, which also, you know, the response to trans the trans movement and like the legislation changing for the worst also pisses me off. Again, like I grew up with a transgender sister, and like she is like one of my absolute favourite people in the world, and I just think I have spent a lot of time with her, like circles that she moves in, and I'm like, again, these people have just never met transgender people. Like if you meet them, you will know within 5 seconds that they're not going to hurt your children, they're not going to go into women's bathrooms and assault women. Like the only people that are going to be doing that are the men in power, who are the ones that are making these fucking legislations in the first place. So anyway, that's what... Sorry, it does get you riled up, doesn't it? But yeah, that's what's riling me up. Is I think in general scapegoating and making these very, very vulnerable minorities a much bigger problem. In the first place. Distract from what's
the
actually
actual
happening.
problems effectively.
Yeah.
It's an easy, minorities are an easy target.
Yeah, and it always happens, and it's historically based, and the fact that people can't see that pattern, I think, is
it just like
stupidity at this
really
point.
baffles me how slow we've progressed, or like how little we've progressed, because I feel like these were issues that have always been there and they're so ingrained in the past, but like it's like one, like coming back, it's becoming more relevant now, because I feel like there were like better, not like quote unquote better times before, and then now it's just becoming a lot worse again, which I don't understand how we're like actually regressing.
But I also think like there is an element of we're allowing it to happen in a way because we're so distracted by just like in terms of action. If you think back as well, like there were so many movements around fighting for these things to be like, if you think about queer rights, like getting queer rights, like there were so many movements to kind of allow these things to then be legalised. But then now, because we've become comfortable with almost being safe with having like gay marriage be legal, like we feel as though almost we have nothing to fight for. Therefore, those things just gradually get taken from us without us almost realising. And then at the point where they are taken from us, that's when we're like, oh no, like, and that's when we realise and then take action. But it takes, it's the same with Palestine, like, it takes getting to the point where there is a genocide literally unfolding in front of our eyes for people to notice that Palestine is an issue. And that's when people take action, like the scale of action, I guess, at least. But
I also think it's like different now, though, like in terms of like taking action, specifically in the context of like protests, and it's like it's almost like more difficult to get through to like the people in power, because there's like a lot more barriers, and the people in power have a lot of power, so that is unfortunate. But I was also like, Fredi, what you were saying, like just this week, in fact, there's like a bill that I don't know much about, but it was passed in India about like, it's basically like taking away like trans rights in some ways. And I was like, how are we, it's like, again, like...
And again with like Eurocentrism, like that's such a Eurocentric like thing that has been forced upon India from British colonialism. I feel like at some point, like, you can't just blame Eurocentrism for stuff, though, but... Yeah, true, but, like, that's what the origins of it, which is, like... No, but some things is, like, I don't know, like, I keep just discovering things about, like really old texts and how there's, like, so much, like, queer representation, and you're like, how did we lose that? Like, how is this, like, really famous, these epic stories, they have characters that actually represent, and then it's, like, just gone, but, So true. Yeah. Serena, what pisses you off?
French. I mean, I feel like this is, everyone's talking about bigger issues and then there's gonna be some men.
But no, I can talk about this one interaction I had. What was it? Like a week ago. I don't know. It was like me and my friend, and it was like Charis was there, Sanaa and Hyein, but like they were like walking apart from us, and this man just starts talking to me and my friend, and not even to me, to my friend, and he was like, because we were holding our like soy sauce bottles, and I guess he thought it was alcohol, because he was like, oh, where are you going? Are you going to a party? Blah blah blah. And then my friend was
it's like 2 p.m. though.
Yeah,
The soy sauce party.
Yeah. We were like, what the hell, no. And then he just kept talking to us, to my friend. He's like, why you look so pretty today? Are you going to a party tonight? And I was like, what the hell? Anyway, so he turns onto our street, and I'm like, why does he live on our street as well? Isn't that... Anyway, and then, I don't know, I just forced my friend to keep walking, because I don't want to let him know that we live on our street, on his street. Anyways, and then, a few days later, tell me why I'm walking to IOE with Sanaa and another friend, and there's the same guy, he has headphones on, and he's like rapping so loudly, I guess to this rap that he was listening to, and I was like, who is that? And I noticed it's the same man. Yeah, and I'm like, oh hell no, and then I like hid behind trash.
Oh, hell
yeah, hell no. Yeah, and then there was like this discarded refrigerator that I hid behind, but
that you threw at him.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if I was like closer to you guys when that happened, I was holding like a big bag of groceries, bro. I would have whacked. I would have just like swung. Like,
Yeah, but I was like, why do men feel the need to like insert themselves in everything?
It's so true.
yeah. It's like just continue walking.
Yeah.
What gives you the right or like the nerve to go and speak to someone?
Mm-hmm.
Also, we were obviously young.
Yeah.
Like, he was like 30, I don't know.
Oh.
And he, like, we were obviously not also 30. we all,
Yeah.
you know? And he was just like, yeah. And I hated the comment, why are you looking so beautiful today? I was like, crusty ass.
On the topic of
Why are you looking so fugly is the question.
So he also had a big ass jacket on as if it was winter. I was like, what? Yeah.
on the topic of crusty men,
Yeah.
Oof.
my neighbors,
Continue.
they live in me and Sade's flat. It's like a building, and it's like one flat, and then me and Sade's flat, and then the other flat.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Sade are flat 2, and then there's flat 3. So me and Sade, we went to
So flat 3, this is for you.
no, yeah. So me and Sade went to Leeds for a competition. Came back. I went to bed really early. Next day I go out, and I come back, and Sade calls me. And she was like, oh yeah, flat 3 had a massive party last night. And I was like, okay. And she was like, yeah, they were partying till 6 a.m. I'm surprised you didn't hear them. And I was like, no, I was asleep. I come back home, right, at 9 p.m. And I come back to a pretty sight. I open the door, and there's a corridor going to go upstairs. In the corridor, someone from that party had vomited all over the wall and projectile.
Vomited. I really liked
And it
it.
was dripping down. It was dried, which is not great either. But I thought it was mud, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" I need to stop swearing. Sorry. What is that? And I walked past, and then I was like, "Ew!" They left it there for 3 days.
Oh!
Didn't clean it. I had to run past every single time because it was so disgusting. And you know what pissed me off even more is that flat 1. They had flat viewings, fair enough, they were pissed off because it was literally right in front of their door. They ran up to our flat, knocked on our door at 7 in the morning. I didn't answer, I heard Charlie answer. And they were like, can you clean up the vomit, please? And they assumed because we were the youngest people living in the building, it was our mess. And we were like, we weren't even here. And the people who had the party in flat 3, I was talking to my sister because my sister knows, like, kind of knows them. They're like mid-30s. Throwing a party at their big age and not cleaning up after themselves. 2 guys as well. And I saw them the other day for the first time. They're like, oh, hello. And I went, hi.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think, like, if you're, like, 35 and you, like, why are you throwing, like, parties, like, you know, like a teenager? And if someone, like, vomits in the corridor, which belongs to other people too, why don't you take credibility and just clean it up? It's gone. Partially, they did a shit job of cleaning it though. Yeah, that's what pissed me off last week.
That's really not nice.
It's not nice at all.
Gross.
Yeah, really gross.
Yeah. No, men piss me off a lot. Guys, this was like my first real issue as a teenager. Like sexism was like the root of like all my activism, I think. And I genuinely like I think about it every day.
What awoke the woke?
No, also because just the way, like when I say men, I just mean like also like the way society is made for men, and that just pisses me off every single day, I swear. Yeah, but no, I think about it a lot because it's also like I read somewhere recently like when women are hitting on men, it's usually like at large or like in the way, just like in terms of dynamics, but men usually hit on like individual women and they have like, I don't know, actually that's another point, never mind. No, but I think like, you know, the workday, 24-hour cycle, just how everything is centered around men, medically, all the issues with like how everything has been researched for men, by men, on men, even in like education, I guess.
I saw a statistic the other day that was crazy. That was like there's more research into male pattern balding than endometriosis.
Yes, I saw this.
That is fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's believable, but it's awful.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
If you're that concerned about balding, like get a wig.
Yeah, literally.
Just get
a
hair
two.
routine.
Yeah,
What's it called? A
literally.
toupee?
Yeah. Or just
Spray
be
paint.
bald. Like, it's not that
Spray
deep,
paint.
is it? God.
Spray paint.
Oh my god.
You can't just not have endometriosis, but you can just not have hair. You know what I mean? Like,
Fine.
yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you there very much.
As a man.
As a man, yeah. Sorry.
Freddie is
Take that.
gay, you don't count. Wait, that's kind of
one of
rude.
the-
Sorry. I'm sorry.
One of the ladies.
I mean that in the best way possible.
No, it's fine.
but
I get you.
no.
I'm honoured. I'm honoured.
Okay.
I hate men.
It was when you were surprised by the question, Priscilla was like, you're the only man in the group.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Priscilla.
yeah.
Priscilla asked me, "How do you feel being the only man in the group?" And I was like, "I haven't really noticed, to be honest."
One of the gas.
Yeah. Anyway, what do you remember? Like the first time that you noticed that society was catered towards men?
That's
Towards
Football. Like actually.
Football.
Yeah, like the boys,
Oh.
like at school, we had obviously all the boys used to play football at breakdown. Oh my god!
Freudian slip.
At break time, and then like there were like 3 girls who played. 2, one was me, and then one other girl, and then one girl played for like the Welsh football team. But then none of us were allowed to play, so then we like campaigned for like a girls' football day, and then loads of girls played football when we got a girls' football day. But it just took like actually having that space and being allowed, because like if the boys were always really aggressive, so girls never wanted to be like pushed over and stuff, so they just wouldn't play. But yeah, I don't know. That was my first in memory experience.
Yeah. I played football too, very surprisingly. But yeah, no, I was shit. But I think for me, one of the instances I remember like really getting triggered was when I first started like waxing like my hair,
Oh god.
like my body hair,
Yeah.
and I was like, that sent me into like a spiral about like beauty standards and like why.
But it's like, why are we doing it?
Yeah.
You know?
No, I
It's an
actually
interesting
saw a
thing.
reel where it was like, it wasn't, it's
I
actually,
actually saw a reel.
actually, this is factual information from Instagram reels by this random lady, but apparently it's not even because of beauty, like, it's all, I mean, obviously it is beauty standards, but it's because Gillette, the company, we're not, because like, before, like, people, even men wouldn't shave, would they? I think I don't remember. Anyways, they
shave like
No, because I mean, like,
extent.
they used to shave with, like, you know, like the stainless steel things.
like the blades.
Yeah, and so
straight razor blades.
yeah, and so obviously companies who were making that weren't making as much money as they could have, because it's like a one-time, you buy it once and then like that's it. So Gillette made it so that they could have one-time use, really cheaply made razor blades, and they'd market it towards men. But then they realized, because men have this, but then they also have the big, sharp stainless steel things, they weren't making as much money. So like they were saying, oh, well, women should also use our reusable or disposable razor blades, and so therefore they made people believe that women having body hair was bad because they just wanted to make more sales.
That makes a lot of
Also,
sense.
like women's shaver things, they're way more blunt.
Oh yeah.
Than men's razors.
And they're pink, so they're twice the price.
Yeah,
Like,
and I feel like in terms of like body hair, like this, like when women like shave, we shave a lot more because we're doing your whole ass like full body shower, you know.
Yeah.
And then like men shave their face, I think.
Yeah.
Duh.
I think.
And like they get the sharper blade, which I think is very
So true.
interesting.
that is interesting. I was thinking with the whole like shaving thing and like lack of like no body hair, I feel like it's this kind of like fetishization of like youth,
Oh yeah.
which I think is so
true.
weird, and like it literally is like women on like magazines and like fashion magazines are like made to look like infants. Like
Yeah.
it's disturbing when you really think about it. Wait, deep it, guys. Like,
There was these girls in my school, like in protest, they just decided to like grow out their armpit hair, and like I remember in a class, one of the boys, I'll name and shame, Cristiano, he was like, that's disgusting, like why are you growing out your hair, da, da, da. Like it's just kind of crazy to think that like
and he grew up to be a famous footballer.
yeah, no, Cristiano was a very nice.
I have to say the armpits are the one bit where I'm like, I get it. I get why you would shave it. The rest of it, I'm like, meh.
But like men should as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My
So
thing
that's
is
more of a
true.
hygiene
Yeah.
thing, isn't it?
My thing is just like men should like people. If people want to shave, they should shave, but it shouldn't be like
Yeah,
the women
it's
should
true.
shave because they're women. It should be like
Preach.
Yeah, exactly.
men can shave too.
True,
If you
true.
want a hairy chest, have a hairy chest. If you don't, shave it off.
Shave it out. Yeah.
Shave it up.
I will say though, the hygiene thing is a lot of, again, like propaganda. basically.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like-
true.
It's, your armpit hair is like, it kind of like is supposed to somewhat protect the smells as well.
Yeah.
Like, but also like, obviously it's good to like trim your stuff, guys.
Yeah,
but no, but yeah, I
Trim
Here's what I made it.
no, but I think
I've been letting it grow.
no,
Oh my god.
Sorry, cut this out.
No, as a kid, I feel like at some point I did really internalize like the fact that it's like disgusting to have body hair, and that's what triggered me more. Like it got to me at some point, and the fact that I was like kind of like going by the standards. I think that's what really upset me. But it's like it's just kind of inevitable, really.
I think that's really telling of how ingrained all of these like pressures are, is that you can be so aware of them. You can be hybrid, you can study them as like a career and still give into them at times because like they're so like they're like choked into us almost. Like
No, I've never understood the hygiene thing because it's like obviously we've evolved so that it's still there. Because obviously we're not like how when we branched off from I guess apes or whatever. Like obviously they like I don't want to call them, you know what I mean? But like obviously they still have a lot of hair because they've evolved to be that way, and then we evolved to be this way. So I don't understand why people are like, oh, it's so unhygienic, even though like evolution has made us this way, and
Just
obviously,
like shower, guys.
And monkeys.
It's,
well, I don't believe in evolution.
Monkeys clean themselves though. They're not like stinky creatures, you know. They clean themselves.
no, but I'm saying like there's a reason they also have hair in like more, but then we also, you know, like Anyways, yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Charis. Oh, were you gonna say something?
I don't know.
What
Okay.
pisses you off, Charis?
Guys, I don't know. I feel like things that piss me off are like very small things, like that guy who wouldn't cross the road. Like it's like I don't really. I don't have a very big like. It has to come to me. I feel
Fair
like
enough.
it has to happen.
I have one.
Yeah.
I feel like I've spoken too much though. So
No,
someone else
speak.
go.
No, go for it.
I was talking about it last week with Kit and Fredi. I think when people make stuff your problem when you don't notice, if that makes sense.
What do you mean?
Like when I was at school, back in the day.
Oh yeah. Took me so long to remember this conversation. I was like, wait, what?
Bring it back.
Yeah.
So, sorry. Like being interracially adopted. If anyone wants to chime in, you may. But like,
seems targeted.
Sorry, I just
Actually looked at
If anyone relates.
I'm not trying to speak for anyone. I'm just like
says staring into my soul.
in my personal experience. I like a lot of people like tried to make it my problem, especially when I went to boarding school, and it was something like I didn't notice, and like as a kid, like I don't even remember when like I had a conversation with my parents and they had to tell me like you're adopted, and I was like ooh, like you just kind of like you know. And at school, people were so awful about it, but in the most like microaggressive way, that like you internalize it to the point where like it's been years since then and they've all matured, but it's something that sticks with me enough that like it bothers me even in the present. So like I had like people talking about my sister. My sister was like, she's like generically like gorgeous, like she's very, very gorgeous, and my whole family is like, you know, white, cool. And a lot of people would be like, oh my god, like I love Rafi, she's amazing. And I was like, oh my, like I'm her sister. And they'd be like, that's such bullshit, there's no way you're related. Or you know, like people trying to guess like what ethnicity I was, or telling me when I don't even know myself, or like telling me to be grateful that like I was adopted. Or like, you know, someone like asked me like if I was black, someone asked me if I was like Indian. Like it's just like so exhausting. And I remember one of my friends showing me a TikTok once, and it was like
sorry, why is it
that's okay.
different
Why
sound
is it
every time?
beatboxing now? Okay.
But like my friend showed me a TikTok once, and it was like, oh, did your parents never say this to you? And it was in general, not just me but everyone. And it was a TikTok being like, POV, you pissed off your parents, so they threatened to send like to return you back to where they bought you from. And I was like,
Bought you from is just in itself a
kinda
horrible
cringe.
term to...
But
Yeah,
yeah, like
it's
that
just-
thing of like I didn't even care about adoption at all. I really didn't care at all because no one cared until people literally made it my problem and did like comparisons between me and my sister when we don't share the same DNA, we don't look the same, and like there's nothing like I could do about it, and you just have to sort of go about your day feeling like shit. Yeah, and like even moving on from that, I wrote a whole EPQ about interracial adoption, about like I think people just assume that like adoption in general is all the same like Orphan Annie kind of thing, and it's so exhausting because people expect you to like be a certain way, or I don't know, it's just like everyone has this like stereotypical perspective on it. And yeah, that was like the most cathartic experience writing that. And then even after that, I noticed like when I go on holiday with my family, I'm constantly thinking like, oh, people must think I'm not related to them. Like yesterday I went for lunch with my sister, and I got into the restaurant, she was already sat down, and the guy was like, oh, are you meeting your friend? And I was like, yeah. Or like going to the airport, people were like, that's your dad? Like literally in what's it called? When you enter the country.
Oh,
what's
it's
it called
border
again?
control.
Yeah, and they check
Immigration.
my passport, and they're like, oh, is that like your friends? And I was like, yeah, that's my people. That's my white people.
Yeah.
That's my G's.
Same,
Yeah.
same with my family. Like whenever I was with my dad when I was a kid, it would always be like we'd get stopped, especially around like the Madeleine McCann time. I think I said this to you. Yeah, like because I was this little white child with blonde hair, like not blue eyes, but like I looked a little bit like Madeleine McCann.
Just because I'm Madeleine McCann.
Yeah. Sorry guys, exposed. No, but because my dad doesn't look like me, so we used to get stopped, and like when I was younger, people just wouldn't believe that me and my sister, well, people still were like, what is this, like when we're out together, it's like, what's this relationship? It's like, no, we're not lesbians, we're sisters. We're sisters.
Siblings or dating.
Literally. No, like it, but it's actually like a real problem.
I also feel like in a sense like that thing is like so much of the media shapes how people see it. Like,
Yeah.
like if people like if it was a thing in the world where like adoption and like being queer, for example, is just like a thing that exists, no one would have a problem with it. But because it's been so ingrained into like stories and people's just talking and media representation of it being a negative thing or being like I don't know, like sob stories of people being queer or adopted and like their quote unquote struggles. Just because that is like the main form of representation that you see in media, it then shapes how people, especially kids, think about it.
Yeah.
And I just think like, guys.
Yeah,
It again comes back to representation, really, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Like, even if you have, you know, a family in a show where, you know, they're different skin colours and they don't even acknowledge it. Like,
Yeah.
Good point though
doesn't-
about casting though, because like when people are casting, it's like, okay, we'll cast a family, so let's try and make them all look the same.
yeah.
Actually, like in reality, most families are
Don't look
like,
the same.
especially now,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
families do generally just look quite different.
No, because your story about with your sister, I always wonder when I go out for lunch with my dad, who's obviously
Oh my
very
God.
white.
Stop it.
I wonder. I wonder what do they think, like, because he's obviously an old white man, and
Yes,
and then there's me,
Yes.
who's like a young Chinese, like, or Asian person, and I'm like, well, you know those stories where it's like even like people who are like same ethnicity is like young, like a young girl and her dad. People think, oh, they're like,
Well,
you know, age
it's
gap
literally,
relationship,
like,
but like.
every like in like when I went to Hong Kong or like even in Singapore, it's like I was there for someone else. Anyways,
What do you mean? Wait, sorry.
no, wait. The point is that like, yeah, people like, because it's I think it happens a lot with like expats, especially in like Asian countries. Like you get like the average middle class white man, and they're dating like a really young Asian woman. So like, yeah, I had this conversation with someone actually who's also adopted, and they were like, oh my god, do people think you're dating your dad? And I was like, yeah, they do.
Like, I've
All
never
the
had
time.
comments about it, but I do wonder what people think.
Yeah, because you go into a restaurant or something and it's
Yeah.
just you and your dad, and,
Yeah.
and people are like, I don't know what this
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they just don't know how to judge people who look different to their parents.
Yeah, and then
Shut the fuck up and eat your food. You know what I mean?
Literally.
Like-
you're like, oh, on holiday, you wonder like.
Yeah.
What,
it's
yeah,
so
I
nice,
also
like-
because like my sister is also adopted, but we have 2 other siblings who aren't. So I'm always like, do they think we're just family friends who are also on holiday with these white people? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
It's a bit.
Wait, I think I knew
I
you were in
used
Hong
to-
Kong. I just forgot. Sorry.
I also hate when like when I was a kid, people used to always ask me like the moment I knew like it was gonna be a problem was I was in year 1 and I was on the bus and they were all like talking about it and asking me who like do I have a real dad or like do I have a real mom, and like not gonna lie, for a year 1 I was so mature. Like I was like, because my mum used to tell me all the time, she was just like, a mum isn't someone who isn't the woman who has you, it's someone who like raises you.
Yeah.
So that was always like something I like kept in the back of my mind when people were ignorant. You know?
Yeah.
Ignorant fucking 6-year-olds.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
No.
But it's such a thing of like, you don't realise that something is different about you until other people point it out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
children are
it's
so unaware of the fact that they like.
Yeah, and they think
They're
like
different.
they always think like, oh, you've had like, they think like because you're adopted you've had trauma. Like no, you're making this trauma
Yeah.
for me. But,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
That's a
you
good
know,
point.
when you were also talking about how people try to guess where you're from, I hate
I
that
hate
I'm
it.
from China. Because why am I like the most obvious choice to pick from? Like, couldn't I have been more like, mysterious?
Excuse
Yeah.
me?
I hate it. It's like, oh, are you Chinese? And I have to say yes, and it's like
Just
the
say
first
no.
guess on. Yeah, and then I was like, wait, okay, I can just lie. Like,
Yeah.
who's stopping me from lying?
There is literally nothing
So,
stopping
yeah.
you from
Next
lying.
time, I'll just say I'm like, I don't know, from Nepal or something.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's like a niche country that no one really guesses from, you know.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hands judging me. No, but yeah.
Well, I mean, speaking of niche countries,
Yes.
something I've been thinking about a lot the past couple of years is how, I mean, this has happened to like many different people and many different cultures historically, just in general. But because I'm Korean, just how much public perception of Korea and Korean culture has changed. I don't know if I believe it. And that, I'm pissing myself off in that sense. Because even when I was younger, every time I brought like kimbap like to school, because I went to school here like in the UK from like age 11 to 13. you know, it was like there's like something like I was made to feel a bit shameful about the food I bring, and this is such like, you know, a typical sort of like diaspora kind of story, but it is real. And then to see it, and then to come back to the UK where I was exposed to like, well, I mean, really like racism for the first time properly, I think, and see like punjik in Westfield and people having corn dogs and kimbap and like buying that, it's just like unbelievable to me. Yeah, like that's something I'm still like trying to come to terms with. Like I think I struggle to fully believe that these people actually like, there are people who like actually care. Also because at the same time there are people who don't, and I think that's like kind of what's been bothering me a bit, because I mean, same goes to other cultures, but it's just like enjoying what they enjoy about Korean culture, but then being very quick to judge it. I feel like, especially in terms of like Western standards, it's like I'm trying to think of like an example, I guess. But it's like, it's stuff like, you know, issues with gender or race, which is a real problem. But it's like, these are issues that the Western Hemisphere have still not resolved. It's just that, I mean, it's obviously there's a longer history of like these like race relations and like race issues, stuff like that. But it's just like, I don't know, like Korea's culturally been on the map for maybe like 10 years now, 11 years. And these are different times, but I don't know if it's entirely fair for people to impose a Western standard on a country and then judge it for not meeting that standard when this culture and country is still kind of like trying to cope with this like immediate immersion into this like mainstream popularity. I think, I don't know if it's like, I don't know if I feel that it's entirely fair for people to be so quick to judge. When there are countries, well, when there isn't really a country at all who's like resolved the exact same issues that they criticize.
That's true.
Yeah, no, I
And
hate
it's-
sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's true, but it's like the tiger mom stereotype. This is from East Asian countries, like most of the times. I mean, I didn't grow up with tiger parents or whatever, but it's like,
Wait, what is that? Sorry.
it's like the very like academically strict parent, like
Oh,
you need
right,
to get
yeah.
A's, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
blah blah blah. But it's like, it's sometimes that question. Sometimes it's from within the Korean community, like the East Asian community, but it's like, oh, I bet your parents are like horrible. I bet you hate your parents. Like that is not the case. And it might be harder to see from an outside perspective, but there's a perspective inside that just like, I don't know, like the ethos and the culture of Korea is like quite different, I feel like. And maybe to like a Western perspective it might just come across as like very like oppressive. And it can be, it's true. But I think there's been a bit of a harsh standard. Yeah, I mean, not to say that problems don't exist, because they definitely do. But yeah, I don't know, it's like people are like, oh, I love K-pop and I love these idols, but then they turn around and they go, but like, oh, but Korea's like still so behind, it's so backwards because of X, Y, Z. And yeah, I don't know, it's a bit of a complicated issue, but it's like, because I've seen it like progress so rapidly over the couple of years, it's a bit like, yeah, I'm still in like disbelief. It's a bit like, wow, yeah.
I think along those lines, like in terms of like Indian culture, it's like very much at the West wants the culture but not the people, because there's a lot of racism towards the people, but increasingly like the fashion. Yeah, recently I think Ralph Lauren took like traditional like chumkas, like these earrings, and like put them on the runway. And obviously like the whole Scandinavian scarf thing and the food, it's like that's all okay, but the people are not.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, I hate how like the westernization of anything that's not Western is considered like everyone starts to accept it when it becomes westernized. Like, why can't it just be accepted as normal, as its own? You know what I mean?
That's an
Like,
interesting point though, because it's like when it becomes westernized, Western people say it's no longer authentic.
yeah.
But they've imposed that westernization to an extent. Like, there's a bit of reciprocation because like these industries are trying to survive, and one way of adapting to globalization is to like globalize, and that's normally to westernize.
Yeah.
But it's like kind of like you can't win in any scenario, because if you're like too authentic or like, you know, then it's like, oh, I kind of like don't understand this thing. But then when you like try to break things down and like change things to like fit that understanding, they're like, well, we don't want it anymore because it doesn't feel original, it doesn't feel like authentic. So like, what is this authentic that they're looking for?
It's almost sort of like exoticizing,
Yeah.
exoticism. Yeah.
That's another thing with like, just generally in media with like, sorry, I'm forgetting the word. What is it? Like,
Nitpicking.
no,
What are you trying to describe?
I don't know.
This is me every
I'm
week.
losing my words. Anyways.
It's nice to see someone else.
Last week.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying like in the sense of like, I always think about like, why do I want like, for example, Indian media to be like mainstream westernized, or like why am I looking for like something in the Oscars with like, I don't know, like why am I looking for my culture? Because in some ways, like specifically with like the Bollywood industry, it is obviously like in itself, it's self-sustaining. But the thing is like it's so difficult because like you need the international acclaim to like have this like influence in like, yeah, to have just like worldwide influence. But then it's like with that acclaim, it's like, actually I think I'm losing my point.
But I think that's
No, I
actually
get
a
what
really
you're saying.
interesting
I get
point.
what you-
Yeah.
I think I get what you mean.
Mhm.
And also, how much does it change if it then becomes westernized? Like, does it still remain like what it originally was meant to do? Like, why do we need it to be westernized almost? Like, why do we need it to enter the Western kind of influence?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it all like comes back to how it's like, that is the canon, especially for me as well right now as a student in the UK. Like, that is just like mainstream. So it's kind of just sad.
Should we talk about feeling Chinese?
Yeah. Feeling Chinese.
Guys, I feel really Chinese today. I don't know, I feel like...
Yeah, how do you feel when
I
I send
kinda-
you those reels?
No, I think it's kind of funny, but I think
I don't get it.
there's also just like, I don't like, first of all, yeah, it was so random. I feel like I don't know how it began. It just kind of existed, and I was like, oh, okay, lol.
I've been seeing videos. It's like funny, but then there comes a point when it's not.
Yeah, I feel like it's funny when it's in the Instagram font text, and it's like, okay, that's just like a thing. But then when it's like people actually trying to like if they actually don't like if they're saying it not as just a joke, I'm kind of like, okay, but why?
Wait, what
is
is
Or if
this?
they,
It's a
just
stupid thing on Instagram Reels where
like,
there's memes that are like, I'm feeling really Chinese today, or like
I'm in a really Chinese time of my life.
They'll be
Or like send it,
smoking like Chinese cigarettes, like doing Asian squats. Like I've seen like.
or it'll be like,
Oh,
send this to your most Chinese
Mostly just
friends.
the
Like,
font
Yeah,
ones.
see, the fonts ones, I think there's no, like, I just think they're kind of stupid. But I think if someone's actually trying to like perform as that, I'm a bit like,
Yeah.
okay, then
No,
like,
because
that's like pushing it.
yeah, that's like, and especially if you're not, then I'm just kind of like, okay.
Because I've only seen the font thing, and then also Chinese people crashing out over the fact that there are non-Chinese people who are trying to explain Chinese culture to a wider audience. But I've never seen those like the actual reels of like non-Chinese people trying to explain. So I feel like I only have like the two extremes, and then there's like, or not two extremes, but you know what I mean, like the two sides, and then there's the middle ground where it's like what's like become of like you know.
I think my algorithm, I also haven't actually seen many of the, like, what I did see though is like when it was Chinese Chinese New Year, and everyone was like, guys, happy Chinese New Year, and I was like, well, why are you celebrating Chinese New Year right now though? Like, I was kind of like, okay, like, I guess you're accepting, but I'm also like, why? Yeah, I think the Chinese New Year thing I felt a bit weird, because I was like, okay, but like, it's not your culture.
So true.
So
It's just like the selective
yeah.
thing.
Yeah. So I think it's just like there's a boundary, and like there's some stuff that is funny and it's just a bit silly, but then there's some stuff that's like, okay, well, that's just not it, is it? And then it's also a point where like white people make it like their person, like they think it's so funny, and then I'm like, but it's not really that funny.
Yeah, that's so true.
Like it just made me giggle a bit, and then you don't have to make it a whole.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me like that. Let me like it.
Yeah. It's like it's funny if I see it every so often. I'm like, okay, haha. But then if like it's the same person I see,
really run
they're like,
with it.
I'm gonna wear Chinese style. I'm like, okay,
Thank you for that.
yeah. It's like, I'm pretty sure there are funnier things to like, you know. And also I think it's a thing of like them only saying it because it's trending, and it's like you wouldn't have found this funny if I said this like 2 years ago. You would have been like, what's going on? Like, what's wrong with you?
That's so true.
Yeah.
This is just not related to this conversation, but like in general, like social media is so like herd humor. Like it's like one person decides something is funny and then it just is funny to everyone.
Yeah, but yes.
I keep on seeing reels about people like, oh, people choosing a new country to like glaze and then like drop in the next month. I'm like, oh,
Why is it funny though?
why?
Because it's not like you'd be like, oh, that token white friend, and then like no one.
Yeah.
I'm in a very white time of my life. No one. These.
I'm gonna start saying that.
And it's also just like Western brands releasing clothes, like you said, like taking from like Indian fashion. There's this top from like Stradivarius, which I think it's a cute top and I would buy it, but I'm Chinese.
I mean,
But it's like a Chinese style like collar and like it's like a shirt.
I've seen those.
And it's like a dark pattern with like florals. So it's like a similar like material and collar style to like Chinese cheapaos and like that fashion style.
I swear, like 10 years ago, the girlies were wearing those.
Yeah, so then I was like, I think it's a cute. I think it's a cute top. I would get it for myself, but then if you deep it, it's like, but why is this brand selling it? You know?
So true.
Yeah,
Like-
if a Chinese brand was selling
Yeah,
it,
it's
sure.
like, first of all, why is this brand selling it? It's like, well, why is it a white model wearing it in the photo?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's just weird, I feel. I wouldn't say it's like cultural appropriation, but I just think it's like an unnecessary design to be selling.
I would say that's cultural appropriation. Is that not exactly what cultural
No, but I
appropriation
mean, like, they're not
is?
doing it in a way of trying. I mean, I don't know what they were intending to do with it, but
cultural appropriation isn't always like an intentional like like to be offensive. Like it's just like a lack of like
It's more about
consideration.
exploitation,
Yeah.
So I'm just like, why? Like, first of all, who designed it?
Sorry, not to mansplain cultural appropriation to you.
Yeah, so men guys.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was like, it is kind of weird though. Like, why are you?
Yeah. No, even the Oscars, like Gracie Abrams' outfit was literally
What was
it
that?
was a
I've
dupatta and a
seen-
lehenga. It was like literally
Really?
giving an Indian outfit.
I'm unfollowing Gracie.
No, I really like
I
her,
always see
but-
the like something bad happen. I'm unfollowing. I'm blocking Gracie.
Yeah.
No,
But
but
this?
the thing. No.
No, it's
Like,
like Oscar's
in the-
carpet look. I know exactly what you're talking
No,
about.
but also the thing is, it's like I
Oh,
feel
this?
like Indians. Yeah, actually, I'm not gonna speak on behalf of the entire country, but like,
of India.
I feel like I personally, in my experience, I've seen a lot of people like. I love when like I see my culture being like celebrated, or like I would love for like everyone to wear Indian clothes or whatever. But I think the issue is like it's not like the local brands that are getting like the support or like getting the money out of it, and that is a problem. But also it's like it's really interesting because like my Instagram feed, it also shows me the side where it's like in India people like, especially with like the Scandinavian scarf thing and like dupattas, it was like people started appreciating it more after the trend, and so it's almost like in the sense that like after the West tries to steal something, we like go back into that like style. I don't know, and it's like
It's also just never actually correct. It's like
That's
they're
true.
it's like a similar silhouette and style, but it's never actually correct, you know. So it's like,
Yeah, I mean, I also saw like Chinese people complaining that Adidas, you know, the like Chinese New Year jacket, that Adidas were like, I don't know, not exploiting, but like so many people are now wearing this thing, and so they're making it such a big thing, even though like
I thought it was supposed to be like limited edition.
I don't know, but I know I saw like I don't remember the reason exactly why they didn't like it, but I remember seeing like, oh, at first they thought it was cool, but then now that it's become so, I don't know, so big, or like so, I don't know. Yeah,
I
they're
think-
just like
I
mad
think
at
the
it.
problem is the fact that it got so big.
Yeah,
I think like, 'cause, like I know that when they first released it, they were only selling it in like China or East Asian countries, and then it went viral, and then more people started wanting to wear it and stuff who weren't part of these countries, and then they started selling it in like stores outside of Asia, which is the problem.
Yeah.
Like if they just like didn't, I don't know. Let's say that they did this for like money. Well, probably
They definitely did.
but
this
like
for money.
that's why I say like they should have just like kept it contained to what they were trying. It was supposed to be like special edition, and they only sold it in like blah blah blah, which they should have kept. Because I also thought it was weird when they were like, oh, they're selling them in like Paris now or like UK now, and I'm like, but why?
I think we were considering at some point doing an episode on fashion, so maybe
Yeah.
these are good topics to come back to.
Because I was going to say maybe it's like the exclusivity, like sort of commodification side of it, where it's like, it's not really about like celebration at that point, it's just like, I want this thing.
Yeah.
Like, I want
true.
this thing because it's got that like cultural element
It's
to
got
it.
that Chinese to
And
it.
it's got that sort of like connotation to it. Like if someone who's like not Chinese or Chinese descent is wearing it, are they like extra fashionable, or is it
It's like I wear the culture.
does it come with like extra tags of like sort of cultural exclusivity? Like does it come with like an extra? Does it add an extra special thing to it? Like you know, what's that about?
Yeah.
Also, I was
that's true.
wondering, is it like what Adidas did? Was that in response to like the whole meme, like I'm in a Chinese time?
I doubt it. Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know, because like I feel like
Well, they released it during Chinese New Year.
no, I know, but like there's no way they thought a year, like 6 months before, like oh my god, Chinese New Year is happening. You know what I mean?
No, I think they would. I mean,
No, but like
you
even
usually
before this,
Oh, no,
they
but
wouldn't have released this.
No, but I mean, like,
And I
you
think-
you usually like create design and stuff a lot earlier
Yeah.
before you like make them. I doubt like a like executive in Adidas saw those memes and
No,
decided
I know,
to make
but I
that
feel like
jacket.
the fact that these two things happen so closely together.
Maybe the international sales
Maybe.
happened.
Yeah.
And
That
that could be a
can
coincidence, but I
Yeah.
feel like I feel like it is just a coincidence.
Yeah.
The design probably predates the trend.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure in order to first of all make that design, and they made like not only that jacket, they made like a full collection. You would have to design that like at least a year before, if not longer, especially because you have to design it and then just get the materials and you have to actually make it
Yeah.
before you sell it. So I'm like pretty sure they planned it for a while. I doubt it was because they saw TikTok trends.
Yeah.
But I think the fascination with those reels and the fascination with other countries' traditional clothing comes from the same place.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, there's definitely overlap there.
I mean, what is Adidas?
Dream.
Like,
Is
it's like
Is it?
like
What
what?
Americans pronounce it Adidas?
Yeah, they did.
Adidas.
Adidas.
Anyway.
It's German, I think. Am I just-
Yeah.
Oh, it is German.
Yeah.
It is German.
Anyway, should we try and wrap?
Can I say?
Yes, of course. No! The white man says no.
Anyways, no, I think like along the lines of like what you were saying about like a Chinese time in my life, or like also in terms of fashion and stuff, there's this like famous trending in whatever influencer right now from Mumbai called Dia, and she basically just wears like cool Indian clothing and she like walks around Mumbai, and I really like her videos, and she's like
Frank Ocean.
kind of like to that one song, but basically I saw this very informational reel about it, about how it kind of shows like specifically like I don't know if you guys have heard of like the book Orientalism by like Edward. Yeah, but it was basically talking about how like even like trends like this, it's like oh I love this, and it's like actually I'm gonna explain this so badly, but it's like I can't believe it came from that culture, or like it's like this like appreciation with this like sense of like underlying sense of like contempt almost, or like it's like a different form of like I don't know. You know what? That's all. Mic drop. That's all.
No, actually, I just wanted to say one last thing as well. I'm actually surprised at how many adopted people there are in our course. Even though it's like, because like I'm pretty sure there are 3. It's like me and Amelie, and then there's another person. Yeah. And because also our course is so tiny as well. I feel like the coincidence that 3 adopted people, also all from like Asian countries as well. It's not like
That is interesting.
like all came here.
But I
don't
think,
know,
of course,
yeah.
in general, I'm not gonna talk about anyone's like situation in general, but like across the board, the different types of people who have chosen this specific course. It is very interesting, especially because there wasn't really like, well, obviously there was a selection, but like in terms of who applied for this course, probably not that many people in our year. So then it is quite interesting who has ended up actually on the course.
Yeah, there's not really a specific demographic, I would say. I mean, there is, in that it's like, 99% people that went to private school or boarding school, but like, or international school. But like, it is like, I don't know, yeah.
But that's that makes me angry.
But yeah, no, other than that, I feel like the types of people is a random...
To be fair, like, I don't know why, like, I've met a lot more people who were adopted from moving to the UK than I ever did when I was in Hong Kong. I mean, that's observation.
I think I've met more like Asian adopted people here. I mean, I think there are people at school I knew were adopted, but like not to be the person, but they were like, you know, white kids who have been adopted, so you would never know. But like, yeah, people make you a problem when you actually physically look different.
No, I think before this course, I've only known one other adopted person, and she was like from Ethiopia, I think. I forgot. No, sorry, two. One Ethiopia, the other. One Ethiopia. 1 point. No, but yeah. So I only knew like a very limited amount of people, and then I'm surprised that like this course. I don't know. It's just the coincidences. Like, yeah. I always think about the coincidence.
Yeah.
That is all.
So yeah, I feel like to wrap up.
Yeah, so guys, we actually love the world.
Yeah, we just love it. Nothing pisses us off. We're really chill.
Hope you guys got pissed too.
Yeah.
Especially
but I feel like there was a lot of overlap. There's a lot about like feeling like your space is taken away from you, or someone else is kind of inflicting on your space, or like you're kind of... What else was I going to say?
People speaking for you.
Yeah. Which I'm doing right now. No, it's true though, yeah.
No, we appreciate this.
I think a lot about like representation and how like the media affects that, as well as how cultures are presented, and the sort of like the trending aspect of it, and like guys, colonization, like the taking of cultures. And
which I feel all would lead us to curate a very good film festival if we were to ever do something like that.
Hint, hint.
Yeah.
Guys, next year.
Are we gonna curate a little something else though? Kit.
Oh yes! Oh my god, yeah. Kit has a bright idea.
On the group chat, we were basically talking about how we could kind of round off this semester. Because we hope to continue the podcast, but we're thinking of ways we could respond to the prompt in more like outside of the podcast. And we were talking about like last week or 2 weeks ago about books and how we really want to like read a lot more books from different cultures, different languages, maybe translations. And I was mentioning about around the time with the student protests, a lot of mobile libraries started popping up, named after the poet Dr. Rafa Alarir, who was a UCL student, did his PhD here, and he was martyred in the genocide. I think 2 years ago now. But so a lot of mobile libraries have been named after him, and the UCL encampment library was also named after him. And obviously that's gone with it went in general with all the encampments, but also with the redoing of the UCL main campus. I think it also is quite important to mark. But we were thinking about creating a little mobile library, basically to share books, where all students can basically contribute books that they've enjoyed, or books that maybe like, for example, I've bought a lot of textbooks from our course that maybe like would be useful for students who maybe have a learning difficulty like me with and find it easier to use physical copies of books. So I could donate my books that I've used on the course so that other people would have access to those books in the future if they were to study our course. And basically we were thinking about doing a little launch party around it and playing our playlists that we've created while doing the podcast. Yeah, our political playlist. And then also like sharing snacks, because we had this idea at the start where we would also do like a snack party. So we thought it would be a good way to like round off the project with sharing books, sharing music, sharing food. Yeah.
Sharing space.
Sharing space.
Holding
space.
Sharing love.
Sharing love, compassion.
But yeah, this is gonna be our last episode for a
the
bit of
time being. Yeah.
So we hope.
So sorry.
Yeah, thank you for coming along with us on this.
To Ben. Sorry, Ben. What on earth are you gonna listen to for the next few weeks? I don't know.
Yeah, thank you for joining us on our little sea trip, our journey across the seas.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The journey which consisted of podcast room to audio booth
to this room with the window which
makes a lot of noise.
Watch it close, like
literally
now.
But yeah, thanks for listening.
Hope you enjoyed.
Yeah.
Hope you want more.
And once again, sail away on the seven frequencies.
Sail away, sail away, sail away.
Bye.
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 Okay, Matt.
Bye, Susan.